The game of hockey has evolved dramatically since its early days on frozen ponds to the high-speed, highly skilled sport we know today. While forwards often steal the spotlight with flashy goals and highlight reel plays, it's the defensemen who have truly transformed how the game is played. These blue line warriors serve as a backbone of championship teams, and throughout NHL history, certain defensemen have completely redefined what a position could be. From the early pioneers who established the fundamentals to modern-day stars who push the boundaries of skill and athleticism, the evolution of defense has mirrored the evolution of hockey itself. The 10 defensemen we're about to explore didn't just excel at their position, they revolutionized it, leaving an indelible mark on hockey forever. Their innovations changed coaching strategies, influenced generations of players, and elevated the game to new heights. As we count down these legendary blue liners, we'll see how each contributed something unique that transformed hockey from a simple game to the complex, beautiful sport we love today. These aren't just the best defensemen, they're the ones whose impact continues to be felt every time players take the ice. Number 10. Red Kelly. Leonard Patrick Red Kelly stands as one of hockey's earliest revolutionaries on the blue line. In an era when defensemen were expected to stay back and focus solely on preventing goals, Kelly dared to think differently. During his time with the Detroit Red Wings in the 1950s, Kelly became the first defenseman in NHL history to exceed 50 points in a season, a milestone that seemed impossible for a player in his position at that time. His smooth skating and exceptional hockey IQ allowed him to join the rush while maintaining his defensive responsibilities, essentially creating the template for what we now call the offensive defenseman. What truly made Kelly revolutionary was his incredible versatility. Midway through his career after joining the Toronto Maple Leafs, he successfully transitioned to playing center, becoming the only player in NHL history to be named an All-Star at both defense and forward positions. This versatility demonstrated a level of hockey understanding that was years ahead of his time. Throughout his 20-year NHL career, Kelly collected 8 Stanley Cup championships, proving that his innovative approach to defense could lead to the ultimate team success. Kelly's impact extended beyond his playing days as he introduced new training methods and strategic concepts that influenced generations of defensemen who followed. His willingness to challenge conventional wisdom about what a defenseman could contribute offensively opened doors for future stars. While modern fans might not immediately recognize his name, every time a defenseman jumps into the play or quarterbacks a power play, they're building on the foundation that Red Kelly established. His 4 Lady Byng trophies also prove that a player could revolutionize the game while maintaining exceptional sportsmanship, making him a true pioneer in every sense of the word. Number 9. Larry Robinson. Few defensemen in hockey history combine size, skill, and intelligence quite like Larry Robinson. Standing at an imposing 6 feet 4 inches, Big Bird arrived in the NHL during the 1970s with the Montreal Canadiens and immediately changed perceptions about what a large defenseman could accomplish. While previous big men on the blue line were often limited to stay-at-home roles, Robinson's exceptional skating ability and puck handling skills created a new prototype for the position. Robinson revolutionized defensive analytics before they were even a formal concept. His career plus and minus rating of plus 730 remains the highest in NHL history, demonstrating his extraordinary ability to control play whenever he stepped on the ice. This wasn't just about avoiding goals against, it was about complete territorial dominance. Robinson could single-handedly neutralize opposing forwards while simultaneously driving offensive play toward the opposition zone, something that transformed how coaches evaluated defensive performance. Throughout his career spanning 20 seasons, Robinson collected 6 Stanley Cup rings with the Canadiens and established himself as one of the most reliable playoff performers ever. His approach to the game combined traditional defensive responsibility with progressive offensive instincts that allowed him to contribute 958 points during his career, numbers that were previously unthinkable for defensemen of his size. Robinson's impact extended beyond statistics as he changed how teams developed their defensemen, inspiring coaches to encourage larger players to develop more complete skill sets rather than limiting them to purely defensive roles. His legacy lives on in every big, mobile defenseman who can both shut down opponents and join the rush with equal effectiveness. Number 8. Chris Chelios. In a sport where careers often end in the early 30s, Chris Chelios rewrote the rules of longevity and sustainability. His unprecedented 26-season NHL career spanning from 1983 to 2010 wasn't just about hanging on. It was about remaining effective and competitive well past the age when most players had long retired. Chelios played his final NHL game at age 48, revolutionizing how the hockey world viewed aging athletes and career duration for defensemen. Chelios transformed how defensemen defensemen approached training, conditioning, and career management. His fanatical dedication to fitness and adaptability became the new standard for professional preparation. While most players of his era followed traditional training methods, Chelios incorporated innovative cross-training techniques, including cycling, swimming, and martial arts that maintained his effectiveness through multiple decades. This comprehensive approach to physical maintenance influenced an entire generation of players who realized that career longevity could be dramatically extended through proper preparation. What truly set Chelios apart was his ability to evolve his game across different eras of hockey. Beginning his career in the physical, high-scoring 1980s, he adapted through a defensive-minded 1990s and into the post-lockout speed game of the 2000s. With 3 Norris trophies and 3 Stanley Cups spread across different decades, Chelios proved that elite defensemen could adjust their playing styles to remain effective as the game changed around them. His success across distinct hockey eras demonstrated that defensive brilliance wasn't just about physical gifts but about intelligence and adaptability, a lesson that continues to influence how defensemen approach their development and career planning today. Number 7. Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey transformed the concept of offensive production from the blue line with a combination of blazing speed and exceptional puck skills that had rarely been seen from a defenseman. When Coffey entered the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers in 1980, he quickly established himself as a new breed of defenseman who could be just as dangerous offensively as many elite forwards. His record-breaking 1985-86 season, where he tallied an astonishing 48 goals and 138 points, remains one of the greatest offensive performances by a defenseman in NHL history, second only to Bobby Orr. Coffey's revolutionary skating ability changed how defensemen approach zone entries and transitions. While traditional defensemen would typically pass the puck to forwards before entering the offensive zone, Coffey regularly carried the puck end-to-end, creating odd-man rushes and scoring opportunities that confused opposing defenses who weren't prepared for such aggressive play from a blue liner. This aggressive style inspired coaches to reconsider defensive positioning systems across the league, as teams now had to account for defensemen who could attack with forward-like speed and skill. Throughout his 21-year career spanning multiple teams, Coffey accumulated 1,531 points, the second highest total for a defenseman in NHL history. His 3 Norris trophies and 4 Stanley Cup championships validated that his revolutionary style could contribute to team success at the highest level. Coffey's impact continues to be felt in today's game, where mobile, puck-moving defensemen are highly valued and offensive production from a blue line is considered essential for championship teams. Every time a modern defenseman joins a rush or creates offense with their skating, they're following the path that Paul Coffey blazed decades ago. Number 6. Denis Potvin. Denis Potvin arrived in the NHL in 1973 as a first overall draft pick and immediately set about redefining what a complete defenseman could be. During an era when defensemen typically specialized as either offensive contributors or physical enforcers, Potvin revolutionized the position by excelling at both aspects simultaneously. His rare combination of bone-crushing hits and offensive prowess created a new template for the two-way defenseman, while leading the New York Islanders to 4 consecutive Stanley Cups from 1980 to 1983. Potvin demonstrated that defensive intimidation and offensive creativity could coexist in a single player. Potvin transformed how teams utilize defensemen on the power play. His booming slap shot and exceptional on-ice vision made him the prototype for the modern power play quarterback, a role that has become essential in today's game. He broke Bobby Orr's record for career goals by a defenseman with 310 and amassed 1,052 points, proving that his offensive contributions weren't just occasional but consistent and reliable. These achievements came while maintaining a physical age that made forwards think twice about crossing the blue line when he was on the ice. As captain of the Islanders dynasty, Potvin also revolutionized leadership expectations for defensemen. He showed that blue liners could be the emotional and strategic center of championship teams, not just supporting players to star forwards. His 3 Norris trophies validated his excellence, but his true legacy lives on in how he changed team construction philosophy after Potvin. General managers increasingly built their teams from the blue line out, recognizing that elite, complete defensemen could drive championship success. Every modern defenseman who combines physical dominance with scoring ability is following the blueprint that Denis Potvin established. Number 5. Nicklas Lidstrom. Nicklas Lidstrom quietly revolutionized defensive play through positional perfection and mental mastery rather than physical dominance. When the Swedish defenseman joined the Detroit Red Wings in 1991, he brought a cerebral approach to the position that would transform how the game was played. Nick Nicknamed the perfect human by teammates, Lidstrom rarely delivered crushing hits or end-to-end rushes, instead controlling games through flawless positioning and anticipation that made spectacular defensive plays unnecessary. His revolutionary approach proved that preventing scoring chances before they developed was more effective than reacting to them after they occurred. Lidstrom single-handedly changed perceptions about European defensemen in the NHL. Before his arrival, European blueliners were often unfairly stereotyped as skilled but soft, unable to handle the physical North American game. Over his 20-year career, all with Detroit, Lidstrom's 7 Norris trophies and 4 Stanley Cups thoroughly demolished this misconception. His success opened doors for European defensemen league-wide, transforming international scouting and development approaches. Teams began valuing hockey intelligence and technical skill in defensive prospects regardless of nationality or physical attributes. Perhaps most revolutionary was Lidstrom's statistical dominance without relying on overwhelming physical traits. His +450 career rating came from positioning and stick work rather than punishing hits. He played over 1,500 games with remarkable consistency, missing only 44 games in 20 seasons, a testament to his sustainable playing style. Lidstrom transformed defensive evaluation by showing that effectiveness could be measured beyond traditional metrics like hits or block shots. His legacy lives on in today's analytics-driven approach to defense, where positioning, puck possession, and zone exits are valued as highly as physical play, concept that Lidstrom mastered a decade before it became mainstream. Number 4, Doug Harvey. In the original Six era, when defensemen were primarily expected to clear the crease and make safe outlet passes, Doug Harvey transformed position with a revolutionary approach to puck control and game management. Joining the Montreal Canadiens in 1947, Harvey brought an unprecedented level of calm and intelligence to the blue line. Unlike his contemporaries who would quickly dump the puck out of the defensive zone under pressure, Harvey maintained possession, circling back into his own end if necessary to regroup and create better offensive opportunities. This patient approach fundamentally changed offensive strategy and established the concept of controlled breakouts that remains central to modern hockey. Harvey revolutionized the defenseman's role in offensive creation. His exceptional passing ability and vision allowed him to act as a quarterback from the blue line, directing Montreal's attack and creating scoring chances through precise distribution rather than simply supporting the forwards. Between 1955 and 1962, Harvey won 7 Norris trophies as the league's best defenseman, a remarkable achievement that demonstrated how thoroughly he had changed the position's standards of excellence. Despite playing in an era when defensemen typically contributed minimal offense, Harvey regularly ranked among the league leaders in assists. Perhaps most significantly, Harvey elevated hockey's strategic complexity through his on-ice decision-making. He essentially became a coach on the ice, reading plays and directing teammates in real time. His influence extended beyond his personal statistics. When Harvey was on the ice, the entire team played a more sophisticated, possession-based game that opponents struggled to counter. 6 Stanley Cup championships with Montreal validated his approach. Modern concepts like puck-moving defensemen and defensive zone exits can trace their origins directly to Harvey's pioneering style. Every defenseman who now orchestrates their team's transition game is building on the foundation that Doug Harvey established over half a century ago. Number 3, Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque personified defensive excellence and remarkable consistency across 2 decades in the NHL, revolutionizing position through his unparalleled longevity at an elite level. When Bourque joined the Boston Bruins in 1979, he immediately demonstrated the rare ability to excel in all situations. But what truly set him apart was maintaining this excellence for 22 seasons. For 17 consecutive years, Bourque was selected as either a first or second team All-Star, a level of sustained brilliance that transformed expectation for defensive careers and established new standards for consistency at the position. Bourque revolutionized offensive production from the blue line by setting scoring records previously unimaginable for defensemen. His career total of 1,579 points remains the highest ever for an NHL defenseman, and he retired as a Bruins all-time leading scorer. An extraordinary achievement for a player at his position. Bourque managed his offensive production while simultaneously excelling defensively, proving that consistent two-way excellence was possible over an extended career. His 5 Norris trophies spanning from 1987 to 1994 validated his approach and inspired a generation of defensemen to pursue complete, well-rounded development. Perhaps Bourque's most significant contribution was redefining what it meant to be a complete defenseman. He combined offensive creativity, defensive responsibility, leadership, and durability in a package that teams now actively seek when developing blue line prospects. His legendary work ethic and attention to detail, demonstrated through his record of 19 consecutive seasons with at least 10 goals, established new professional standard for defensemen. Bourque's emotional Stanley Cup victory with Colorado in his final season capped a revolutionary career that transformed how teams evaluate defensive excellence. His legacy lives on in every defenseman who aspires to excel in all facets of the game over an extended period, the complete two-way defender that Bourque defined through 2 decades of exceptional play. Number 2, Eddie Shore. Eddie Shore stands as hockey's original defensive revolutionary, defining the modern concept of the position during the NHL's formative years. When Shore joined the Boston Bruins in 1926, hockey was still developing its fundamental structure, and no one had fully established what defensemen should be. Shore's approach to the game, combining fearsome physical play with surprising offensive instincts, created the template that would influence defensemen for generations. His legendary toughness, which included play with severe injuries and famously having his ear nearly severed before having it stitched back and returned to the game, established new standards of commitment and sacrifice from the blue line. Shore revolutionized a mental approach to playing defense. He studied the game obsessively, analyzing opposing players' tendencies and developing strategic counters, a level of preparation that was unprecedented in his era. This cerebral dimension complemented his physical dominance and made him virtually impossible to play against. Shore's impact was so profound that he became the only defenseman in NHL history to win the Hart Trophy as league MVP 4 times, a feat made even more remarkable by the fact that defensemen rarely received consideration for the award. These accolades came in an era when defensive statistics were barely tracked, demonstrating how thoroughly Shore dominated the game through sheer will and innovation. Perhaps Shore's most significant contribution was elevating the defenseman's role from a supporting position to a central one. Before Shore, teams built around star forwards. After him, general managers recognized that elite defensemen could be the foundation of championship teams. The 8 All-Star selections and 2 Stanley Cups he earned with Boston validated his revolutionary approach. Shore's legacy extends far beyond his statistics. Every time a defenseman plays with physical intensity while contributing offensively, they're building upon the foundation that Eddie Shore established. He didn't just play the position, he defined what it could and should be during hockey's crucial developmental period. Number 1, Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr didn't just revolutionize the defenseman position, he fundamentally transformed the entire sport of hockey with an approach so innovative that its impact continues to resonate decades later. When Orr joined the Boston Bruins in 1966 at just 18 years old, he brought an unprecedented combination of skating ability, offensive creativity, and defensive awareness that had simply never existed before. Traditional positional boundaries meant nothing to Orr, who routinely carried the puck through all 3 zones, created scoring chances, and still managed to get back in position defensively, a 200-foot game that defensemen weren't supposed to play. Or achieved the unthinkable by winning the Art Ross Trophy as the NHL's leading scorer in 1970 and 1975. The only defenseman in history to accomplish this feat, his 1970-71 season remains perhaps the greatest individual performance by any player at any position. 37 goals, 102 assists, and a staggering plus 124 rating. These weren't just record-breaking numbers for defensemen, they were unprecedented for any player. Or collected 8 consecutive Norris trophies and 3 Hart trophies as league MVP, demonstrating that his revolutionary approach wasn't just flashy but genuinely effective. His flying goal to clinch the 1970 Stanley Cup for Boston created hockey's most iconic image, a defenseman soaring through the air after scoring the championship-winning goal. Or his greatest revolution was forcing teams to completely rethink how they built their defensive core. After Orr, every team began searching for mobile, offensive-minded defensemen who could contribute at both ends of the ice. His influence is evident in every aspect of modern hockey, from breakout strategies to power play setups to defensive activation in offensive zones. Though his career was tragically cut short by knee injuries after just 12 seasons, Orr's impact was so profound that he remains the standard by which all other defensemen are measured. The modern game where defensemen regularly join the rush, quarterback power plays, and contribute offensively exists because Bobby Orr dared to reimagine what a position could be. The evolution of hockey's defensive position reflects the evolution of the game itself, from its rough-and-tumble origins to today's high-speed, skill-focused spectacle. The 10 revolutionary defensemen we've examined didn't just excel within the systems of their eras. They actively transformed those systems and expanded what was considered possible from the blue line. Their innovations ripple through every level of modern hockey, from youth development programs that now emphasize complete defensive skill sets to NHL coaching strategies that leverage defensemen as key offensive catalysts. Players like Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, and Victor Hedman carry forward these revolutionary traditions today, combining elements pioneered by their predecessors into offering new, equally innovative approaches to the position. What makes these 10 defensemen truly revolutionary is how they changed the game's fundamental structure. Before Bobby or teams built primarily around forward lines. After him, elite defensemen became the cornerstone of championship rosters. Similarly, before Nicklas Lidstrom, North American teams often overlooked European defensive prospects. After his career, the international pipeline became essential to blue line development. Each revolutionary defenseman addressed a limitation in how the position was understood and proved that those boundaries could be broken. The position's evolution continues today, with modern analytics revealing new dimensions of defensive value that build upon these historical innovations. The legacy of these 10 revolutionary defensemen extends beyond statistics or championships. They changed how we understand hockey itself, transforming it from a sport where positions were rigidly defined to one where creativity, skill, and intelligence are valued throughout the lineup. Their collective impact made hockey more dynamic, more exciting, and more complex. As the game continues to evolve, future defensemen will undoubtedly push boundaries in ways we cannot yet imagine, but they will always be building upon the revolutionary foundation established by these legendary blue liners who forever changed what it means to defend in the game of hockey.